Welcome to my workout vlog. Or you can see me too well. Oh, you should be able to. So today, the day is Sunday. Just leaving Mickey D's with the Bacon McDouble, supplying my body with some protein. Today is Sunday, so therefore it is a bench day, and that's what my aim and my results were. So came to Bad Attitude Gym, obviously, because they got all the stuff and the people and everything pretty much except for the right music. It's pretty much 100% hip-hop all day long, which I don't mind, but I do like a little bit of rock in the mix, at least, if not full-on brutal death metal in my workout routine, especially when I'm going for heavy lifts. But that's all right. I can put in headphones, I guess. I did do a little snooping. Apparently, the reason for it is this is at Hidden Gym. The reason for that is because they rock the playlist off of Pandora, so not totally suits my fancy. When in the old days, the old Bad Attitude Gym, they had it in a kind of a warehouse space, and it was pretty much only heavy music, which to me works. Maybe for some people it doesn't help them lift more, but to me it just gets me in the right mood to really push some weight, get all those thoughts that aren't really about the lift out of my head. So anyhow, bench workout, the goal for today, and that's my new thing, I guess, recently, is making sure I have a goal for the day, not just to go in and work out, but my goal for today was to basically continue my progress in this powerlifting / pec injury comeback that I'm on at the moment. This started, it's been probably less than 6 months, but in that time I have sustained an injury to the pec, and so I am not only coming back to powerlifting weaker than I was when I left 8 years ago or so, but I have also sustained a little bit of injury of the pec. Nothing requiring surgery, but it's something that I definitely have to ease back into heavy lifting with, as well as my lower back, which is more of a chronic thing of the lower back, and due to some imbalances and things. And so I'm working on both of those, but in addition to that, also working on just becoming a respectable power lifter again. So today's goal, we try to do this for every single workout, was to push the bench press just a bit further than I have since I've injured myself. So what that looked like today, or what that looked like at least in goal form for today, was to get a bench press above, let's see, 135, 145, 155, 175. A bench press above 175 with solid shoulder blade retracted technique and a very, very robust tricep involvement. So focusing on basically doing the T-Rex bench press. So not a super heavy archer in the back, but I am I do believe that shoulder blade retracted bench pressing is the way to go at the moment, because I mean I've seen the results for myself. Bodybuilding style bench pressing with maybe not even the elbows at 90 degrees, but with shoulder blades loose, trying to use all the muscle you can to muscle the weight up, heavy pec involvement as a mover, just for me at this moment seems like the pathway to injury, and is, at least if the goal is to lift the most weight. So for my bench pressing, I'm trying to really minimize pectoral involvement and maximize tricep involvement for carryover into a shirted bench press, which I've not done any of yet. I don't feel like I'm quite fully 100% rehabilitated. So that goal to bench over 175 pounds was achieved. I benched actually 205 pounds today for a double, and that was riding the cusp of where I felt form breakdown, not pec strain, so I didn't feel like my injury was rearing its head, but I did feel like I was going to put my form at risk for a re-injury. So that's where I cut it for today. I think I need to strengthen triceps, strengthen my back, focus on loading the triceps in the back, in addition to keeping a really tight trap and shoulder blade retraction during the bench press. It takes a lot of concentration to pull it off for me at this time, just because I don't have it down to muscle memory anymore. So 205 pounds for double, felt really good. I am super, I'll show some video of this right about now. But just to walk through, at least when I reviewed the video, I haven't reviewed the video of the second one, but I'll talk about the video of the first that I saw. My form looks solid. It looks like I'm pressing into the triceps, not staying too out over the body, loading the triceps, focusing on loading the lats as well, and still coming up and ending over the shoulder. And again, not feeling a strong urge to break down my form and come to rely on the pectorals. There is a bit of flaring that I do believe is helpful for achieving a really strong shirted bench press. But I think that it's a double-edged sword, so I think it has to come with the shoulder blade retraction. I no longer believe in just this flare and out to the face sort of thing. I do have some experience in denim shirted benching, and that's a lot of stopping power, and so I feel like there's a happy balance of that touch to the belly, flare to the elbows, back over, maybe to the shoulder. Maybe that's where I was screwing up. But I'm not getting a lot of coaching at the moment, so this is all just my analysis of the bench press and how to, I guess, be strongest at it. I was a respectable bencher before. I recall being close to 500 in a shirt, at least for like maybe coming down to a one board or something like that. I don't recall. I know I never did it in a meet. But sort of when I fell off back around 2009 or so, or 10, that's, I think, where I was at. I know I was raw benching in the low 300s. I think I had benched 330. But anyhow, the goal, again, for the workout, I was very happy in meeting. I don't feel any problems with my pec. And then I went on to accessory work. My accessory work, which is a problematic term, I think, because I think that it predisposes us to think of the work done there as being somewhat maybe optional or not very important. And so I think that's an unfortunate thing of maybe nomenclature that sort of has come about from this kind of conjugate training sort of mentality, which I do believe in. However, my experience with it has been that we tend to maybe undervalue the work there and maybe not be thoughtful enough in how we approach it. So anyhow, I am doing a lot of bodybuilding style high intensity or so-called high intensity methods to focus on a lot of muscle growth in basically all of the muscle groups. So I'm not really pinpointing a specific one because I feel like it's all a weak point. But when I go into my accessory work, my goal is to fatigue the muscles and get close to failure. I'm not just doing kind of rote sets and reps. I don't believe it's worthless to do your accessory work in that way, but I do think that it doesn't yield as much as it could, and I do believe that having a lot of muscle is probably better for weightlifting to some degree. We do know that being bigger is better, but in a lot of application of that, it seems that being bigger, they'll take all comers, fat or muscle, and I'm of the mind that I'd prefer muscle because I do want to look good. I'm at a place in my life where I do want to have a good physique on top of being strong. At one time I didn't really care about that, but that's no longer the case. So anyway, that's the approach I take with my accessory work, quote unquote. And so I hit all the muscle groups. And so what I've settled upon for these, I guess with the way I'm splitting my week is split. I do train 4 days a week. I have 2 upper days and 2 lower days. And the week, half of the sessions are split between me at my home gym alone, essentially, and coming up to North Dallas, Allen area to train at Bad Attitude Gym / Hidden Gym, whatever you want to call it. I guess the background there is that the home gym has very basic free weight setup. I do have one pulley that I've set up on a a pull-up bar that I have installed in my ceiling, and that's really about it. So unless you can do it with a straight bar, I have very limited dumbbell ability or capabilities right now because I don't have a ton of the lower increments and weights, so I can't do a lot of really specific dumbbell weights at the moment at the home gym. So I contrast that with the home gym and what I have available to me when I come out here to North Dallas, which is basically anything you can think of, even above and beyond what you'd see at a normal bodybuilding type gym, because we've got all these really neat special attachments and handles and stuff that seem to be more popular in the powerlifting world. So considering that, the approach to my accessory work has been to the approach to the accessory work has been what I think, and this is what I think right now at least, is that and it hasn't occurred to me before, is that with me splitting my weeks like this, and given the situation on both training locations that I have, it makes a lot of sense to me when I'm at home and I have the dungeon gym, kind of limited capabilities as far as what I can do, and then I have the ultra high tech, almost overabundance of options at Bad Attitude Gym. It makes a lot of sense to me that since I am lacking spotters and have limited abilities at home, I can do maybe a heavy accessory at home. So, sorry, I got a phone call in this middle of that. So, a heavy accessory at home, and when I say that, I mean lower rep range, 5s to 8s, really try to expand my I don't know what you call those, my weights that I use on accessory accessory type movements. So like say skull crushers, or maybe some sort of close grip bench press for triceps or something like that, or back work, low rep sort of stuff. Do that heavier day in terms of accessories on my day at home, and maybe just some quote unquote speed benching or technique benching, whatever you want to call it. And then for the other days of the week, sort of flip flop it with the emphasis on heavy. So if that, I know that sounds stupid. So do my main movements, my powerlifting movements, heavy, on the day that I'm at Bad Attitude Gym, and really the more kind of frilly sort of higher rep or frilly and do higher reps. I'm talking stupid now. Do the more, I guess, specific and how do you say, the more finesse type, accessory type movements. So for example, today I did tricep kickbacks because I had access to cables, and then just do higher reps on that day, shooting for more a pump and muscle growth and stuff like that. So anyway, that's what I think I should do going forward, just to be more thoughtful and maybe utilize the resources available to me a little more effectively. What I did today was in keeping with that. So I did the main movement, which was the bench press. Made sure to warm up well. Used a little bit of band flies. The new thing I'm doing is keeping like sweat clothes on until I'm like pretty deep into working sets. Feel a little sweaty underneath, but just to make sure I'm keeping my body temp up so that all those ligaments and stuff are getting to temp. A little bit like cooking a turkey or something, right? Just making sure that I'm not too stiff and going to tear something again. But anyway, what I did today, I went from doing the bench press main movement, which went really well, and then went on to some machine shoulder press, overhead shoulder press. Again, utilizing a little higher. Actually, I didn't go too high on the reps. I think I was doing 8 to 10 rep sets, and I made sure to get I think about 4 in. I've been lazy with bicep training just because I pack everything in 2 days. I do the entire upper body because I just ain't got the time to be going and doing gym stuff every single day. I don't want to. I like my days off where I just get to read or whatever. So what I did, I kind of was being sneaky with myself, and I supersetted in my shoulder presses some curls before I even did back. And the thinking there was, I'm sort of sneaking some bicep work in because I think I've skipped it the past 2 workouts. And B, since I am trying to focus less on biceps for doing back, and I'm doing this new thing where I'm using straps to focus on, again, just I'm really thinking about my elbow as opposed to the weight when I'm doing row type movements. So I thought, well, maybe with fatigued biceps, that would maybe make my back work be a little more effective. Anyway, first 4 sets of shoulder overhead press. Again, a little bit of high intensity stuff. So on a few of the sets, I got like maybe 5 in, and then I would drop. I was doing like a plate and a quarter, and I'd drop the quarter once I couldn't finish out a rep, and maybe do a couple. I didn't really fall upon the whole. I don't know what you would call it. The rest pause method with doing doubles. The 2 rep blasts after you're fatigued until after the shoulder press work, but I think I'm going to keep that because I like it. But on a few of those I was doing, my working weight, once I got up to working counting sets, was I did a plate quarter, I think for like 5 to 8, and then once I got to where I couldn't complete a rep, pull the quarter off, just throw it on the ground and do a couple more reps in there. Which seemed to work well. My shoulders seem to be really responding well to that. Did follow that up again. That was supersetted with bicep curls, just dumbbell. I didn't get too fancy with it, and I honestly didn't even really push my biceps as hard. I just kind of did some near fatigue reps. They have a really nice lateral shoulder raise machine that I like at a hidden gym. So it's just a handle style, and you just stand, and I really like it. I did I think 3 or 4 sets there, and then that's really when I started getting into that groove of doing the rest pause sets and really blew my lateral shoulders out pretty well. Moved on from that to what did I do after that? I'm trying to think here. Come to think of it, I don't think I moved on from there to the tricep kickbacks. That's right. So they got these really cool handles. They rotate really freely. They've got a cable also that gives you not only the rotation this way. This is going to look great in a out of context GIF here or something, right? But it also gives you a little side to side as well, and that's even better, right? So anyway, I really like those handles, and it allowed me to use. I did some tricep kickbacks, so you bend over kind of at the waist, and you're doing kind of a almost imitating a push down movement, but you make sure you get past your torso with it. Really freaking blows up that really inferior head of the tricep. And then that was great. I think I did 30 pounds there. I did 4 sets of, I think I would get 12 before I'd hit the fatigue mark, and then do the rest pause for another, either another 2 or another 2 sets of 2 on the same unracking, I guess you'd call it. And triceps felt really good with that. Then moved on to, let me see, we did biceps. Oh, and then I did some lat pull downs, again using straps. Really like that. It didn't seem to work out too well with doing it with this machine. It's kind of like one of those hammer strength machines, and it was like almost not quite a pull down, but kind of coming out of 45, and I just could not figure out what a working weight was with the thing, because I assumed I was much weaker on the machine. Ended up getting to the working weight at about 2 plates and a quarter per side, but it didn't work the best. But I think I did 3 sets there, and I really wasn't able to do the rest pause thing with it, because once the lats are fatigued, I think you really got to pull some weight off, and it's just kind of a pain in the ass, or excuse my language there, I'll bleep that out, but kind of a pain in the butt to do a rest pause when you're using straps, because then you got to unstrap and restrap, and that takes a little bit of time. So kind of finished there. I don't think I did much else after that. But overall, I had a great pump. I'm looking like I look pretty jacked when I'm all pumped up, but otherwise I still look like a skinny guy. Anyway, I'm really pleased. Bench press comeback. Like the comeback within a comeback is going well. I haven't re-stressed it again. I did screw that up a few weeks ago, and was trying to limit range of motion with the board pressing, and ended up restraining it. I'm definitely forced to become smarter. This new powerlifting journey, I'm really into it. I do, when I left, I was a big time gear lifter, and so I'll probably end up going back to it. To be honest, I just think it's safer. I don't believe that the claims made by raw lifters are accurate, that it's good, your fitness is low and all that. Like, I do think that gear keeps you safe if you train right. A lot of people didn't do that years ago, but and I'll raise my hand if you ask who's guilty of it. But I think now I'm smarter, and I will be geared lifting and probably multiply, just because I don't know, it just seems cooler. Like when I worked out yesterday, hit some cool weights, and it just feels awesome. You just really like you hit that groove, and you're also it's not just the gear, it's you, and it's a combination of a deep concentration, but also brute force and I don't know, I've never felt a clearer mind than when that moment happens. Like you everything comes together, and then for that, like, I don't know, like 2 to 5 seconds you're doing that lift. God, it's just amazing when you like, you hit it right, your strength's on point, and and you're feeling good, and man, you hit a PR, and I've just never felt anything quite like that. With raw lifting, I just feel like it's more about it's a little more austere. It's like you hit some, like, for me at least, it was always you hit some sticking point, and it's always, and the way you have to lift raw, you can't lift wide, you can't restrict your ranges of motion, with maybe that the gear allows you to do, and so like you end up with these really long bar paths, and inevitably there's some weak muscle group or some, like all the lifts have that, where there's some kind of mechanical limitation in some part of the bar, the path of the bar, and so like you hit that point and you either you have the right amount of stretch reflex or just brute strength, and you're able to grind it through, and it just doesn't have the same feel. Like I feel like I'm a freaking like a rocket on the launch pad when I'm doing geared lifting. But when I do raw lifting, it's just as satisfying to hit a PR, but I just do not feel like I did something I wasn't supposed to do, and geared lifting does that for me. So that's more where my heart is, and I know it's not super popular right now, but anyway, that's a little bit of a tangent. But anyway, the workout today, great success from my point of view, met my goal, and I'm going to start working on gaining some body weight here soon, and hopefully it'll be above 200 before the end of December. So that's all I got for now, guys, and future self. So take care. Bye-bye.